Man, I was just sitting here the other day thinking to myself, should I make another Taylor Swift reaction video? The Swifties have spoken. Hey, I'm Megan. I'm a professional writer and writing coach. Today we are doing another one of my series, Learning from Lyrics, and we're looking at another song from Taylor Swift. This song is off of her Lover album, which came out in 2019, which I know all of you already know.
Combat, I'm ready for combat. I say I don't want that. What if I do?
Okay, right off the bat, we have a strong start with a meaty statement and an intriguing question. Combat, I'm ready for combat. I say I don't want that, but what if I do? What I've really appreciated about Taylor Swift's writing so far is that she really does get into those vulnerable spaces. She's not afraid to show her potential weaknesses or like both sides of the coin, if that makes sense. I'm thinking about Cruel Summer where she's getting into like just the vulnerability of falling for someone that you don't know if they are in love with you too. I'm always ready for you just to cut to the bone is what comes to mind. So here she says, I'm ready for combat. I say I don't want that, but what if I do? So she's being quite vulnerable, I would say, by saying, there's part of me that might want a fight, might want combat.
'Cause cruelty wins in the movies. I've got 100 thrown out speeches I almost said to you.
Okay, because cruelty wins in the movies. I've got 100 thrown out speeches I almost said to you. So this is off her Lover album, which I now know more context about. Thanks to all of you. This is in the context of a relationship that she's in. Cruelty wins in the movies, so it's almost like a hint at her public life versus her private life. Cruelty wins. A conflict in a relationship is more interesting, more grabby for a headline. I've got 100 thrown out speeches I almost said to you. So it's interesting because she says she's ready for combat, which you assume, and it's kind of clear here that she's going to be fighting with the person that she's with, but she's also fighting this internal struggle to make a conflict happen that doesn't really seem like it needs to happen. I've got 100 thrown out speeches I almost said to you. So every time she's had that urge to combat and to be cruel, she's tossed it out. So there's a fight internally there as well as externally, the potential for combat in the relationship, if that makes sense. That's cool.
Easy they come, easy they go. I jump from the train and ride off alone.
Easy they come, easy they go. I jump from the train, I ride off alone. I think that's a play again on relationships she's had in the past that seem like they come and go quickly. She's jumping from one guy to another. She jumps from the train, so once things are kind of going fast down the tracks, she jumps. She's like, I'm out, and she rides off alone. So it's a sense there of almost self-protection is what I'm getting to, because this seems like a good relationship and she doesn't want to sabotage it, but the urge to sabotage it is there. I've got 100 thrown out speeches I almost said to you. Cruelty wins in the movies. Like, what if I secretly want a fight? But I say I don't want that. So I'm getting the sense that she doesn't really want to sabotage, but the urge is there. The urge to jump off the train. And maybe it's something about how out of control that feels. Because when you're on a train, you're not driving it and they go pretty fast. So, all right.
Jump from the train and ride off alone. I never grew up. It's getting so old. Help me hold on to you.
I never grew up. It's getting so old. Help me hold on to you. So there again, that kind of confirms that this is a good relationship. She doesn't want to sabotage it. It's not just that she says she doesn't want combat. She wants help holding on. So she doesn't really want to jump off the train. The line, I never grew up, it's getting so old, that almost makes me think of how when you're in the public eye, you can't escape any of your past. So rumors that flew around about you when you were younger, sometimes that just gets stuck in people's heads and that's all they think about you. So you never really grow up. So I feel like that it could be a play on that. I never grew up and it's getting so old. She's really tired of it. Or maybe it's actually self-reflective and looking at herself and going, I always do this with guys. I always jump from the train so I can ride off alone. I always, send them the the speeches that I almost said. I always am ready for combat. Maybe she's like, now I'm too old for this. I'm tired of it. It's getting old. So that's interesting. Help me hold on to you. So there's character growth there, which is great.
From the
So when you have a character that you want people to really connect with and you want them to seem three-dimensional and really well established, you have to give them an arc. That's why you'll hear the phrase character arc used a lot in writing. It's because a static character is going to basically stay the same throughout the whole story, and it's just not interesting to read. A dynamic character is one that changes over the course of the story. And I always say you really want to frame your story around a premise, which is the idea that your character is going to learn something significant by the end of the story. So what we see here is a little bit of a hint that she's going through this transition. This character is reflecting on how she usually is, but she's making a decision to change. She wants to change and turn towards something else. So that the statement "help me hold on to you" is really significant there because it shows a marked difference between where she was and where she is now. And that's the mark of a well-developed character. So just something to keep in mind as you're writing.
I've been the archer, I've been the prey. Who could ever leave me, darling? But who could stay?
Interesting. I've been the archer, I've been the prey. Who could ever leave me, darling, but who could stay? So again, we get these awesome opposites put together. She does this a lot. I love it. It's so interesting. I've been the archer, I've been the prey. So the two complete opposites, the hunter and the hunted. Who could ever leave me, darling? Which implies nobody could ever leave me. But who could stay? Which implies that nobody could stay. So it's like, wait, what? So is anything happening? You're the archer and the prey? Who could leave you? Who could stay? So what? So I've been the archer. An archer is a really interesting and specific choice. It's not like you're fighting with a sword or you're fighting with a gun or you're fighting with your fists. You have a bow and arrow. So there's distance there. The benefit of being an archer is that you can attack your prey from really far away. So that makes me think that she either distances herself from relationships over time and then strikes, or maybe she's attacking people that are further away from her, like when she slaps back at all the haters. Maybe that's her being the archer. But in this situation, it seems like it's more related to personal relationships. So there's a sense of at least distance. And then I've been the prey, obviously talking about she's had her heart broken. Maybe somebody has been an archer in her life and hurt her from afar or even up close. Who could ever leave me, darling? Who could ever stay? So that almost makes me think it's like a game. And sometimes hunting is sort of like a game. You're trying to beat your opponent. So these two questions make me think she tries to give people reasons to stay. She tries to make the relationship alluring and appealing, but then she kind of calls the shots. If she doesn't want them to stay, they're not going to stay. Who could ever leave me? Who could stay? She's the boss, is what it sounds like. Cool.
Dark side, I search for your dark side.
So dark side, I search for your dark side. Again, it feels like she's trying to sabotage something good. She's looking for the flaws. She's looking for the dark side, maybe so that she can have an excuse to jump off the train.
What if I'm all right here?
But what if I'm all right here? So yeah, she's looking for flaws, but what if she's all right? What if she's safe? What if she's not prey? You know, when you're prey, you're fearful all the time that something's gonna get you and hurt you or kill you. What if she doesn't have to be the archer and she doesn't have to be the prey because she's all right? I love that question.
And I cut off my nose just to spite my face.
I cut off my nose just to spite my face. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to noodle on that one for a second.
And I hate my reflection for years and years.
Then hate my reflection for years and years. That I cut off my nose just to spite my face. That reminds me of another line from maybe a song. I don't know if it's related or not, but I can't remember it right now. I cut off my nose just to spite my face. So there's like obviously some self-loathing there. Just to spite my face, I'm gonna drastically change it. I'm gonna do something that completely alters my appearance, and maybe in doing so alters her appeal. And then she hates her reflection for years and years. So she's making decisions that are drastic and impactful, and then she regrets them and feels that hate, that disdain for her decision, or at least faces a reminder of it every day in the mirror for years and years. So I'm not exactly sure how that plays into the Archer theme, but that's the vibe I'm getting from this. So, okay.
Awaken
I wake in the night, I pace like a ghost, the room is on fire, invisible smoke, and all of my heroes die all alone. Help me hold on to you. Okay, we're thinking. So I wake in the night, which means she can't sleep. I pace like a ghost. Ghost is a really interesting choice. I pace like a ghost? Ghosts don't pace, they float. Paced. I don't think of a ghost as pacing or walking. That's so interesting. Okay, so she can't sleep. So this is really bothering her. She's reflecting on all of this, and it's distressing to her. This sort of, I'm afraid I'm gonna ruin this relationship, and I think I'm all right, and I don't want combat, but that's kind of all that I've ever known. I've been the archer and the prey. It's either this or that. It's push or pull. It's kill or be killed. I don't know how to just relax and sleep through the night. I pace like a ghost. The room is on fire. Invisible smoke. Invisible smoke makes me think the room is not actually on fire. She just thinks it's on fire. Again, this idea of creating a problem that's not really there, sabotaging. I pace like a ghost. Ghost and invisible seems similar to me because ghosts are typically invisible or see-through or something. So maybe that's another play on the fact that she's pacing, she's going back and forth on this, and it's really pointless. Like she doesn't need to do that. It's like saying the room's on fire, but the smoke is invisible, so it's not really on fire. There's not really a problem. She's making this problem more of a problem. Does that make sense? Am I even on the right track? Let me know. Oh, and then all of my heroes die all alone. The thing that's coming to mind for me for that is that the people she looks up to act this way. So all of her heroes die alone because they do this. They sabotage their relationships. They cut their nose off to spite their face. They jump off the train and ride off alone. They're independent and they sabotage their relationships as well. And that's who she's looked up to, or maybe that's who's influenced her. But all of her heroes die all alone because they go through this cycle too. That's what I'm thinking. Now she's screaming it. Oh, they see right through me like a ghost. So whenever writing repeats something, you always want to take notice of it because it's for emphasis. It means pay attention to this. This is really important. I'm going to say it again and again. They see right through me. They see right through me. They see right through me. Can you see right through me? So that makes me think that this perception she has of herself, kind of going back to the line about cruelty wins in the movies, it's almost like because she's such a public figure, there's this pressure to act in a way that's expected of her, to ruin her relationship so that there's an interesting story and maybe she can write another song about it. And I mean, conflict is the key to every interesting story. So it's almost like she's trying to convince herself that that's not really her. That's just what other people have put on her. They see right through me. They see right through me. So it's pressure of like, people know that this is who I really am. I'm this sabotager and I'm this person who jumps off the train of every relationship and easy come, easy go. It's really vulnerable. They see right through me. Like I don't even trust how I see myself. I know that they see who I really am. I must really be this person if they think I'm this person. And if I have this internal struggle around sabotaging this relationship. And then she says, can you see right through me? So that kind of connects to me to the lines, help me hold on to you. And I say I don't want that. And I've got 100 thrown out speeches. She's really fighting. She's really fighting this. And she just so vulnerably like, can you see through me? Do you see it too? I really don't want to be like that with you. So I think that's pretty cool. They see right through me. They see right through. Can you see right through me? They see right through. They see right through me. I see right through me. I see right through me. Okay, and then it switches. So the great thing again about repetition is that it not only emphasizes what you need to pay attention to, but when it changes slightly, it really has some more significance. So they see, can you see? They see right through me. I see right through me. I see right through me. So again, I feel like she's afraid that she's actually like this. She's actually not capable of holding on to him, which is why she asks for help. But very interesting. She doesn't even trust herself. Oh my gosh. Okay. All the king's horses, all the king's men. But let's talk about allusion. This is another literary device that writers use, and it's basically when you allude to something, you hint at something else from another book, another piece of media, a current event. You allude to it without directly expressing that that's what you're doing. So you kind of give hints. And so Taylor does this when she, in her other song, what song was that? Lover. Taylor does this in Lover when she says, all was well that ends well to end up with you. That's Shakespeare. So she's alluding to that. And here, all the king's horsemen are all the king's horses and all the king's men. And then here, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put me together again. That's an allusion to a nursery rhyme. That's Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Man, that's good. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. That's such a good allusion because it's talking about somebody who is up high in a position of power, of status, whatever you want to call it, and then they fell and they shattered. So she's basically saying, that's what I feel like right now. Dang, she just spelled it all right out for us there. Let's listen to that again. I love that. It also fits into the medieval vibe of like being an archer. So smart. Anyway. Ooh, my gosh. This poor girl. Because all of my enemies started out friends. That's again this vulnerable place that she's in where she's like, I could be the prey, you know? Like, yeah, I've been the archer, but I've been the prey. And this sense of like fear around if I trust somebody, if I hold on to them, are they just gonna hurt me? Am I gonna get hurt again? Am I gonna be the prey again? I'm already shattered on the ground. I'm Humpty Dumpty in a million pieces. I'm a little broken egg. All of my enemies started out friends. Help me hold on to you. So she's saying, you know, is this just what's going to happen? Like, I'm worried that this is what's going to happen. Oh, this is kind of like where we talked about motivation for characters. When you know why a character is acting the way they're acting, it makes it so much easier to get into the story and really empathize with them. And she's giving us her reasoning here. So we could say, girl, you got a good thing going on. Like, just enjoy it. I don't get why you're so paranoid about this. But this helps us empathize with her character because all of my enemies started out friends. So it's like immediately we go, oh, well, obviously you would have problems trusting if that's kind of the situation you've been in before. So as you write characters of your own, just keep that in mind. You want to have a really good, really vulnerable and relatable reason why they're making the decisions that they're making. So she's not screaming at this point. She repeats that, who could stay, who could stay. And then she says, you could stay. She really wants that, and she's not sure it's gonna happen. And then she ends it, she's still ready for combat. Again, see, the repetition is so significant because that's only repeated at the beginning and the end. It's bookending it. So we can see that it's a cyclical thing that she's going through. And that kind of plays into the idea that she's pacing at night. She can't get any sleep. This is running through her mind over and over and over again. She can't just hold on to him and enjoy it because there's just so much going on in her mind. So many external pressures and expectations coming in. Oh man, okay. I was not expecting all of that to be in there. We got to talk about illusion. We got to talk about character development and motivation. Oh yeah, repetition. And I like the escalation of sometimes she just asks the question, who could ever leave me? Sometimes she screams it, who could ever leave me? We get a little bit of her emotional dynamic in there as well, which is just as tumultuous and topsy-turvy as it is her pacing and not being able to get out of this cycle. Okay, I see the appeal. That's pretty good. Definitely good writing. I really like that. Okay. Well, I'm going to end it there. If you liked this video, it really helps my channel if you can like and subscribe. And drop me a comment below with what you thought about the song. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It was so good to see you. Take care and happy writing.